Hi, and welcome to another episode of What I Know by Allison. I'm Allison. So, today I want to talk about a book that really changed my perspective on how I viewed the world. It helped shift the way I saw things and actually helped me not to be as sensitive as I typically am. Am I still sensitive? Yes. However, this book was really instrumental in not being as sensitive, not being as hurt by things, because I understood by this book or with this book that it really wasn't about me in essence when things happen. Today, I want to talk about the four agreements. Now, I read this book a long time ago when it first came out back in 97. And the way I saw it, the way I viewed it, made my life a little bit easier. So just let's get into it. So the first agreement is actually be impeccable with your words. Now, this one was a little bit difficult for me. I think more so maybe than the others, because it's really talking about how you viewed yourself, how you talked about yourself, and how you talked about others. With this, it really was about judgment, how you judged yourself. Did you speak poorly about yourself? Did you speak badly about yourself? Did you speak poorly or badly about other people or gossiped about other people? So this one was a little bit difficult because we all like to gossip, we all like to talk, but the self-talk was what it taught me. It taught me about negative self-talk, like saying things like, gosh, I'm such an idiot, or gosh, I can't believe I'm so stupid, or why did I do that, or, so on and so forth. And we all do that. We all say these things about ourselves. We all gossip about other people. I mean, the world at this point, you see, Us Magazine, you see all these magazines that gossip, and it's fun because we think, you know what, these are stars. These are people that are living a bigger, better lives than we are. So, it's okay to read about these things, whether or not they're true or not true. So this one really taught me that I needed to be impeccable with my words, be careful with what I say and how I said it in regards to hurting other people's feelings, or in regards to saying something that wasn't true about myself, or really wasn't true about somebody else, but really especially about myself. Because if I was speaking better about myself, or if I was not thinking that I'm an idiot or not thinking that I'm not good enough for certain things, then that meant that I would put that out to the world, and I would make certain that I wasn't speaking poorly of other people. Now, do I make mistakes? Do I call myself silly or foolish or I can't believe I did that? Yes, I do. But I do remember to bring it back to the center, and the center is me, and really remembering that, you know what, I am a human being and sometimes I make mistakes. So this one was really difficult, and it is still really difficult. And the thing about the four agreements is that you continue to use it. It's not a one read and done. It's a, oh wait, I remember that I shouldn't say that about myself, or I remember that I shouldn't say that about other people, or you know what, let me not gossip, or what have you. So being impeccable with your words is one of the hardest agreements, I feel. So that is number one. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. Now, this agreement is also very difficult. Why? Because we live in a world that tells us that everything is really about us. And if someone says something or does something or view us a certain way, we need to take it personally. In fact, this agreement, I think it's one of the most important ones, only because without this agreement, if we use this agreement more and more, I think there would be less destruction in the world. And I mean that in terms of people dying over religion, people dying over perceived disrespect, people dying over, things that could actually be helped. So with this agreement, if you don't take things personal, whether or not it's a friend saying something hurtful to you, or a family member saying something hurtful to you, or even, the world at large feeling like maybe the world is attacking you, if you don't take things personally, then you will actually avoid anger, jealousy, all the things that come with being hurt from someone else's words. So being mindful that people have their own viewpoints, they have their own perspective of how they see things and how they were raised. Susie Q was different from the way Allison was raised. So Susie Q's viewpoint on the things Allison does could differ and could actually be hurtful if Allison, myself, were to take things personally. So it's all about recognizing and realizing that I don't have to take things personally. I don't have to take something that somebody else say in a way that is going to hurt me. Now, this agreement is really difficult because we live in a world that tells us that we need to care what other people think. And some people may say, oh, I don't care what, the world or this person or that person thinks. But that's not true. You do care. The minute you hear someone says, in my perspective, that I don't care what X, Y, or Z says, they actually really do care what that person says, and it actually really does matter, and they were harmed, or what was said was really hurtful to them. But once you recognize that that person have their own perspective, their own viewpoints, how they were raised, how they see the world, most of what they say is not going to be hurtful. And if it is hurtful, the 4 agreements really is to bring it back again, like I said, to the center so that you don't internalize it in a way that is going to stick with you for years. Now, I know I still get hurt feelings by things that the world or my friends or people may say about me, but when I reel it in, when I bring it back, it's not as hurtful when I realize, or when I put this agreement to the test, I realize that I shouldn't get hurt feelings, or my hurt feelings, lessen. It may not completely go away, but it lessens. And that's the second agreement. Third agreement is do not make assumptions. And oh my God, this agreement is so easy to forget because we live in a world where we assume, again, that everything is either about us or the way we see it. So this agreement really is telling you to go ahead and ask questions, ask for clarification. That way it's easy for you not to make assumptions about what you think a person is thinking or how you feel a person is feeling. Definitely go ahead and ask. And it is really difficult to ask questions because of course, we don't want to look like we're idiots. We don't want to look like we don't know anything. But with this agreement, it really has taught me to ask questions. And anyone who knows me know that I'm asking 1,000,001 questions about things. And sometimes it can get frustrating for people, all the questions that I ask. Like, why does she want to know this? Or, oh my God, she's so nosy. And yeah, sometimes I'm a little bit inquisitive, but really it is so that I don't make as many assumptions as I could if I didn't ask questions. So this agreement is really important because it allows you to move through the world without thinking that if it's not about you, then it's about how you think and it's a problem. Not making assumptions really is pretty important because it allows you to navigate the world with a better understanding of what's going on, what people are around you, your family members, your loved ones are thinking and feeling. So don't make assumptions is the third agreement. The fifth agreement is to always do your best. If you always do your best, then you are not going to beat up on yourself. You're not going to be upset when you do something and it does not work out or turn out the way you do it. It's basically telling you to recenter yourself and ask yourself, did you do your best? Did you do everything that you could possibly do? And do you know that you did your best? If you did your best and you know that you did your best, then beating yourself up or, flagellating yourself is not a good idea, because it causes you not to have needless suffering. Usually you do something, it doesn't work out, or you go out there, you put yourself out there and you play a sport, you play a game, you take a test, and you don't do so well on that test. And the first thing you do is, oh my God, I'm so ridiculous, I'm so stupid, why didn't I do this or why didn't I do that? This really allows you to bring, again, it back to the center and ask yourself, did you do your best? And if the answer is yes, you did your best, then you can't really beat up on yourself, because you know that you did your best at that particular time. Now, at that particular time is really important. Why? Because your best is going to change from day to day. Case in point, your best when you are sick is going to be different than your best when you feel on top of the world. So really go back and ask yourself, did I do my best? Did I do everything that I could? And if the answer ends up being no, I didn't do my best, then what do? You go back to the drawing board, and the next time you know what? I could have done better, so I'm going to do better next time. And if it is, I did do my best, then understand that your best today is going to be different than your best tomorrow or your best the day before. So beating yourself up over something or going back to the past over something is really ridiculous, for lack of a better word, because things change, you change day to day, and understanding that will allow you to move forward and really check with yourself about doing your best on a day-to-day basis. So those are the 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your words. Don't speak ill against yourself. Don't speak ill against anyone else. Don't take anything personally, understanding that everyone have their own way to view the world. They have their own way to see the way things actually are. So if you take it personally, it really has nothing to do with you. Never make assumptions is the 3rd agreement. Go ahead and ask questions. It may seem annoying to people, but if you ask questions, you will bypass a lot of hurt feelings and a lot of misunderstandings. So ask questions so you are clear in understanding what's going on. The 4th agreement is definitely to know that you are doing your best from day to day. Your best is going to change from day to day. So be kind to yourself and to understand that while it changes from day to day, you just need to bring it back to the center. Ask yourself if you did your best. If you know that you did do your best, it will stop you from beating up on yourself. And if you didn't do your best, it's just as simple as saying, I'll do my best next time. So that's what I have for you today, the 4 agreements and how it allowed me to adjust back to the center when I sometimes forget that these things are really important to remember. Thank you for tuning in to What I Know by Allison, and I'll see you next week.